What's up, traders? My name is Heath. This is Trade Talk. We're going to do a live Sunday edition, seeing how it is Super Bowl weekend this weekend. More people be watching that. So we'll just go ahead and cover all the pairs for the Forex pairs and cryptocurrencies, what I'm going to be looking for this week. Glad you could make it, Tom. All right, so let's do this. Let's go. First, we're going to start off with Forex because I want to end with crypto because crypto is... it's on fire. So let's go check this out. First, we're looking at the DXY. You can see that we did push up last week into this. I just put basically to make this top trend line. All I did, because I have this bottom trend line. See, on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that this thing is in a downtrend. All right. On the daily time frame, we broke above that descending trend line. You can see there, and we close many days above it. So let's go back to the weekly real quick. So basically, this is rejected from a market structure on the daily level. All right, but I want to just show you real quick. Simply, all I do is I take that trend line there, the bottom one, and clone it. Well, I think it's not working. Let's try this again. There we go. Let's see. Oh, it's not want to do it. Let's see if it's on it. There they are. Jeebus. Weekly time frames. All right. So let's try this one more time. So basically, it just took the lower end of that. All right. And then clone this. I'm not saying that the dollar's in an uptrend at all. Basically, what I'm saying is it looks more like a bear flag on a weekly time frame. And you did get that rejection, but you have closed the weekly above this weekly market structure, which is important. And you closed bullish, which is also important. So moving on into the week, you can see we got this bearish candle here that took out the high and the low. So that is the very definition of an engulfing bearish candle. But what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking to see if this thing finds support at 90.73. You have this area of confluence here, which would be a good area to look for it. You also have this last market structure swing high over here, but this bearish candle as well. So you have all kinds of stuff that's coming right into that area. So we're going to look to see what happens here. All right. I am overall bearish on the dollar, and so is everybody else. So basically, this is what I want to see. I want to see it break down before I start taking any short trades, because as you can see, you have made what looks to be an inverted head and shoulders inverse, and you have taken out the neckline. So officially, you have broken out of that pattern, which is technically bullish. All right. So in the near term, meaning the near term, since we made this low down here, you are trending up. You are making higher highs and higher lows. So you have to look to see what happens on the bullish side. This could just simply be a pullback into this area, a nice daily closing candle, and then a test of that area and signs of rejection will be key for me, and I will be looking to enter this market bearish. If we get down here and hold this as support, obviously like on an 8 or a 4 hour candle, if you can't close below this area, then that's probably a good area to look for a buy. How would you do that? Well, you would short the Euro USD. All right. So essentially on this turquoise or whatever color you want to call that is just from this high here. All right. It's just a traditional support zone. You can see we blasted through that, and then we closed Friday back above it. And you closed back above this ascending trend line that is longer term. All right. So let's go look at the weekly on this, because this is a quandary. All right, so you essentially pushed down deep into that area, but you rejected, and look where you closed the weekly candle. You closed above this high, and you closed above this trend line on a weekly time frame. That matters, but it did close bearish still, so that matters too. So moving forward into the next week, what we're going to be looking for is for this thing to do is simply the same thing as the dollar. So basically, as of right now, it is structured to the bearish side. So what you want to do is you want to find an area. You can look at this last market structure swing low first to see if it finds resistance there. If you get a resistance test there or even higher up at this one, all right, that would be a good area to look for swing trades, even shorts. Because if you reject up here and you roll back over, this thing can go all the way down to here. I mean, that would be a beautiful target. And your risk would be defined against this high here. All right. I would much rather want to see it push up into this area at 1.21120. But this area down here, the 1.20772, is your last market structure swing low before you broke down. You did even retest that level, so that validates that level as an area to watch. All right, so if you get a daily closure above that, you're still not out of the woods for the declining prices in the euro. So this is the main area that I got in focus. If we start taking out higher highs and we are retesting and making higher lows, then the overall trend, which is to the upside, may be coming back into swing, which would be beautiful as well, because if this is a retest for a longer term uptrend, you can clearly see you have many pips to the upside to gain if you're bullish. I do not know if that's what's going to happen. This is why we will wait to see. Currently, the market structure is to the downside. When these pops happen in price, that is just a simple area to look for resistance test and hold to get short. All right, USD JPY. So this chart looks disgusting right now. I apologize, but just hang with me for a second. Let me show you what's going on. So we've been trading in this range on the USD JPY to down, range bound to down. All right, you made a swing low here and you since traded away from it, came in, made a higher low support test, and boom, later. That is bullish in the near term only. The main trend to this thing is down. All right, now these white lines are weekly areas. All right, so basically this is what I'm looking at. You have this market structure swing high on a weekly time frame that you closed below, but you still closed above this one. So this is a big bullish weekly candle. All right, now the Japanese yen is at an area of inflection as well, and I will show you that too. So what I'm actually looking for on this is a possible rejection. I'm looking at this as it may roll over to get a higher low support. All right, I don't think it's just I don't know if it's going to just consider that as the test and take off. I mean, if it's really bullish, it absolutely can. I would much rather see it come down and find an area of support for your next swing high or swing low, but a higher low, if that makes sense. All right, so basically the near term on this is up. So let me get rid of everything and just show you real quick what you can do to watch it. You just take that level, clone the line, make sure I'm on a daily so I don't look like an idiot again. There we go, and just bring it up right there. All right, so if you look at that, you can see that you did come into the upper end of that area. You can't tack it to highs or opens because it's essentially just cloned from this line here. All right, but you can see that you came into that. So higher low support test is what you want to look for. This candle here is your last swing high since before you traded away. So if you look, that would bring in a nice area of confluence to look to see if the bulls are going to push this higher. Ultimately, longer term, I'm bearish on this. All right, I do think that eventually, once it's stopped out enough shorts, it will return to going back in that direction because the dollar overall fundamentally is weak. All right, pound dollar. Pound dollar, we essentially been trading in a range for a couple weeks, and it's disgusting. Now, I got this level from a weekly chart, this purple line. It's this swing high or this swing low on a weekly time frame right here. That level is 1.37986. All right, it's just the closing price of this bearish candle. Why do I have that? Well, that's my target. This thing is bullish, man. You had this weekly test all the way down to here. All right, you tested 1.35688. You had news on Friday, which is where this wick came from. This is all Friday's price action. All this whole wick came from Friday or Thursday. I don't remember which day it was, but it had news and you just had a massive spike on all pound pairs. That's what that wick is from. And you closed bullish on a weekly time frame. So yeah, Okay, so it was Thursday. All right. Yeah, basically, you came down in here, you found support, and then you took off, and you closed super strong. You're in this area right here, this swing high, the last swing high, the last area that you got a daily closure. All right, and you did get that close right above that level. That level is 1.37362. This is Oanda's data feed, so it may be different on some other data feeds. What am I looking for moving forward? I want to retest of 1.36679, or let's get rid of that line and go into an 8-hour time frame, see if we can find something. And we can right there. So I want to see a retest of 1.36810, simply testing this area here. This will be my target moving forward. All right, you have a lot of stops up here. The market is obviously aiming at those stops. Can this roll over here and start making lower highs and lower lows? Absolutely. Am I looking for that to happen? Absolutely not. All right, because you had your chance. The bears had their chance. They got below this market structure, all this. All right, they got below that on an 8-hour closing basis, and the bulls slapped them in the face. That is bullish. The bulls are in control of this market as of right now. We will be looking for retests to get long, looking for that 1.36810 area to come into play. If you don't like that area, go into an hourly. You could look for a possible support test and hold right here at 1.37014 for you shorter time frame minded folks like myself. So that's what I'm looking for moving forward. But when the market opens today, it could already be just shoot straight up through that. We don't know what's going to happen, but that is a trade idea for the pound dollar. All right, XAG, USD, silver. I am still bullish on silver. Let me just stretch this out. You have this trend line coming in that's holding price. You basically had this bearish nonsense right here, taking out all the stops. All right, you traded sideways for a couple weeks and you shot out of there very strong. Notice on the retest, you did not take out this last market structure swing low down here at 25.27. All right, that would have been indicative of the bears having control of this market. This is a test. This is a weekly level, I believe. Yes, it is. Here's your weekly market structure right there. You got a weekly close above that last week. This week, you had that massive push up. I do not like this doji on a weekly basis, but you did close back above this market structure swing high. So that area is an area to look for a support, test, and hold. You've already gotten that, but if it comes back into play again, just make sure you're not closing 8-hour candles below it. All right, if you start closing 8-hour candles below it, something has changed. I do like this. This looks good. It looks constructive. You are currently testing just basically this bearish candle. You did get a close above that, so that is good as well. All right, so what I want to see is I actually could get rid of this trend line because, I mean, it may come back into play, but not really looking for that to happen. Basically, I'm going to watch price this week on silver. I am still long silver. I have calls a little less than a month out, and they are the $30 strike. So basically, I'm bullish on silver, looking for this to move higher. We will see if that happens. Gold is not looking as good as silver. Gold is looking absolutely bearish. I mean, it is in a longer term, obviously a longer term uptrend. Here you go. You got your monthly uptrend. This would be looked at as a bull flag. So, I mean, simply the longer term trend is up. All right, but this is what I want to bring your attention to. So when we broke out of that, we immediately rejected. All right, we came up, we retested higher prices, and we lost it. Now, this was your lowest market structure swing low on a daily time frame. You can see you got that on Thursday. Friday, you didn't even retest it. So moving forward, a retest of that area, in my opinion, is possibly going to happen. And I will be looking for that area to hold as resistance. If you want, and I'm not a pattern trader, but I'm sure pattern traders are looking at this as something like this. Now, where's your neckline? I don't know. It could be that. If that's the case, you've already broken out and you are retesting that as a head and shoulders pattern that is possibly working out, which is not good for gold bear or bulls, but it could just be near term. Who knows? We may find support somewhere down here, but I am absolutely targeting this white line down here at 1.76450. 0.57. All right, that's my downside target. Now there is an upside target as well, but by the time you get all the way back up here and you start closing 8-hour candles above 1828.58, then your risk to reward is a lot less better. Or, you know what I mean? Your risk to reward would still be better to the downside, because you could simply put your stop above this high here. So any push up in price, unless I'm getting absolute confirmation of bullish activity, I will be looking for gold to roll over and at least try to take out that 1764 area before the week is out. All right, so that is my next week's target. This could be your bullish target if you're bullish on gold. And you could be, because if you look at this bearish candle over here, you came down, you tested that, but you didn't get a good bullish strong move off that level that I would have wanted to see. All right, I would have wanted to see the daily at least close higher. Then and only then would my bias be more to the upside, because that is a flawless, beautiful test. All right, we did not test that area since we traded bullish. So yeah, let's see what happens. All right. It could absolutely turn out to be a bullish play. If you want to play it safe for the bullish side, wait till you take out this 1875 target, all right, and then you can target this area way up here. Because if the dollar returns to weakness, I would assume gold would catch a bid. All right, now CAD Yen, I took this trade last week. Excuse me. I'll show you real quick. All right, here it is. Let me pull it over here. So that's when I entered. I entered on 81.729 right here. This was my stop. I currently pulled my stop up above my entry. I have the area delineated on the chart right now with a blue and red line. That is my entry. That is my stop loss. This up here is where I'm looking for the first area of resistance to come into play. And it's just this area here because of that bullish weekly closure. That level is 82.834 if you are long this thing with me. All right, I would look for that to come into play. At that time, I will take off 50% of the position that I have on still, and I will forget about this pair forever, or at least until I get stopped out. All right, because if this thing wants to continue higher, I will absolutely enjoy the ride. So there's nothing to do here unless you get a pullback. First area to look for a pullback buy entry would be 81.962, which is simply this bearish opening price from this candle here. All right, if you get a test of this area and a hold, then you could look to enter. If it doesn't take out the target yet, say it pulls back before taking out that area, then you can look to possibly get long and aim for that area. If I get stopped out, or if we close a daily below this market structure, then something else has changed. All right, and we will no longer be looking for bullish entries on that. S&P 500, if you remember last week's live stream, I said this is a good spot to buy. Why? Because, well, every red big push down in the S&P 500 is being met with buying opportunities, and this was too. They bought it and it's already made a new all-time high. All right, so moving forward, let's go down into a smaller time. Oh, let me pull this up real quick just to give you this. All right, here we go. So this chart, I can't make this picture any bigger, but this is the SPX. This is the option market weekly expected move for next week. All right. The high side of that looks to be 39.61.52. All right. And the low side of that is 38.12.14. Essentially, all this is it's the implied volatility that the options market has priced in for next week's move. All right. Let me look at the comments real quick. Do you want me to cut the music off? If you want me to cut the music off, I can cut the music off. That ain't a problem at all. No music. There you go. All right. So moving forward, we will be looking for, last week we breached that weekly expected move. I was looking for the S&P 500 to pull back, but it did not. All right. So basically it just kept moving higher. So this is your new weekly expected range for the S&P 500 next week. Once again, the low side of that area is 38.12.14. The high side is 39.61.52. For premium sellers, that is your area. All right. Now, on the technical side, excuse me, on the sticks, You got the first area of support that I want to see tested is 38.44 spot 30, which is simply just this bearish candle right here. All right. You got that. You pull into this area, then you absolutely want to look to see if this holds as support. If that area holds as support, you could look to get long, targeting all-time highs. I mean, there's nothing to do on the S&P 500 except buy it. It's uncoupled from the dollar. We had the move going up on the S&P 500 as well as the DXY moving higher. So essentially, you can't really look at the dollar chart anymore to get bearish entries or bullish entries for the S&P 500. So we just have to wait and see what's going on. Usually dollar strength is indicative of a weak stock market, but that's not going on right now, which is also another reason that's leading me to believe that this could just be a pullback in the dollar to ultimately look for bearish targets. Aussie Yen was weak last week. I mean, it wasn't weak, but it wasn't doing anything. It was just trading sideways. And then on Friday, you just got this amazing strength just out of nowhere, just blasted through above this market structure swing high all the way over here. As you can see, that was the last one that you got any candles closing above. Well, until Friday. Friday, you closed above that area. So moving forward on the Aussie Yen, I'm going to be looking for an 80 spot 502 for a pullback area. Look to see if that holds a support. If you get an 8-hour closure below there, you're still not bearish. You're not bearish by a long shot. Look for 80 spot 238 to hold as support. All right. But we'll see what happens. But I'm only looking long on this thing from now on because, like I said, you didn't take out these targets either, which is another check in the bullish box. You traded up into it, but you did not squeeze out the stops. All right. So look for pullback, long entries to target 80 spot 928. That will be my weekly target for next week. All right. And if it continues higher, could be a great area to look for a swing trade C.T.M entry. So that way, who knows how far this thing can go? I mean, it is obviously bullish. You got a lot of bullish weekly candles in a row. So I was looking for a pullback. It looked like we were running into trouble. And it looked like we were going to roll over, but we did not. You've taken out all of this, the swing high on a weekly basis or a monthly. Sorry. No, I want the weekly. Let me go back over here. You took out this right here. You see what I mean? And now you're pushing up into that. So that's going to be obviously the first area of resistance that's going to come into play. So that ultimately could be your bullish target going back over to a daily, or let's go back to an 8-hour. Instead of using that as the bullish target, just this swing high, because we did test up into it. We did not purge any of those stops. So looking for higher low support to come in on Aussie Yen this week. Could be a targeting as high as 81 spots 700. Be a nice trade if that plays out. Aussie dollar was the reason why I was looking for Aussie Yen to roll over, but like I said, got this big, huge bout of strength. Now the Aussie dollar still doesn't look that great. I mean, I don't like that as a trend line either. So I don't like the trend line, but you can see that, you got some work to do before you, technically it's bullish, longer term, obviously bullish. So see if this was the area that I was holding, you can see that it was like almost a, what do you call it? A bear trap. All right. Because you got that 8-hour closure below right here. All right. You got that 8-hour closure below that market structure right there. And then out of there you went. So you have to almost look for pullbacks and buying opportunities on this as well. All right. That first area is going to be 76278 right here. That's where I'm going to be looking. Sellers are going to be looking to sell this market because in their opinion, you have impulse, correction, impulse. This is going to be looked at as a corrective phase to get short, looking for another impulse move to the downside. And you do have a beautiful target to the downside at 75638 right there. So I'm going to leave that one up to you to decide what you want to do. I don't know. I was looking at the comments, the veg, and it looked like people, I don't know, someone didn't like the music or whatnot. If you guys want the music, I can turn it back on. It doesn't matter to me either way. You know what I'm saying? Either way. All right. So moving forward, Nzd Yen has been on a tear. This thing is absolutely bullish. Just look for bullish entries. I don't know what else to say. Every time I think it's going to roll over and get short, it does not. And it fools everybody and takes off. You got the same thing right here. You got a bearish trap right there. Look at that. I mean, just it's a beautiful bear trap. You close your 8-hour candle below your last swing low, and then you trade it out of there and you never look back. So first area that I'm going to look for a support test and hold, because this area was tested multiple times. So I would look for this one to come into play. The reason being is because also whoever got long there will be stopped out. So 75 spot 232 is the level I like best to look for support test and hold. Moving on for the week ahead. Let's go look at a weekly, see if we can get you close the weekly above this market structure right here. All right, you close that above that. So the next area, I guess you could call that, but I mean, it's behind all this. So I would much rather use this, but I'll throw it on the chart just in case. Those two areas would be areas to look for possible resistance to come into play. All right, those two levels are 76 spot 320 and 76 spot 073. And I'll do pound yen and I'll call it. I got stopped out of the Aussie CAD trade that wasn't on there for any reason other than that. So let's get rid of these lines because we have already broken out above all that stuff. Moving forward on this, we're going to be having to find an area of support to come into play. Let's use this swing high up here. Not that one, this one. All right, let's use that and see what happens. So moving forward on pound yen, let's see what happens if we pull back in the 143 spot 874. I can't give you anything up here. All right, I wouldn't short this. I wouldn't get short aiming for this as your target. Just let price fall back into an area. You can go into a smaller time frame. You have a 4-hour candle here you could use, or one here you can use if you don't like that one. All right, so let me just go ahead and put this one in. See what happens when price comes back down to 144 spot 367. You get that as a support test and hold. It could be moving higher. I mean, this was a big, strong bullish push out of that area. It indicates that bulls are in control of this market. So I'll just throw this trend line on right there like that. And we will see what happens. The Japanese yen, this is what I want to talk about real quick. All right, just because you may get a pullback in this asset. All right, let's go to a daily. The chart is disgusting, but I'm going to explain it all and then I'll get rid of it all. So this is just the top edge of this, all of this range that it was in. We broke out of that range last week. This was the last market structure swing low. You can see that you gapped down below that and you retested it. You filled this gap right here. You filled this gap and you traded lower. All right, so basically all I did was I put this trend line here at the upside. I trend it or topped it to this and then tacked it to this, just those two highs. And I cloned that line and I just threw one underneath. All right, so currently we have support at 94 spot 50. I basically just got it from all of this stuff right here. All right, this is a traditional area of support. It's hard to get an exact area. You can see you traded down into that on this bullish candle and traded away. Sorry, you can see right here, you gapped down, traded into that, and then you traded away, and you have not been to that area since. And that area is what caught that push down. And you currently have a bullish daily candle coming out of this area, excuse me. So moving forward on the Japanese yen index, which would also mean bullishness on yen pairs. So yen pairs would have a slight pullback, which would go into line as to what we are looking for. First area that I'm looking for resistance is 95 spot 20, which is this area here, and that would be gap fill as well. But if we push all the way back up to 95.50 right here, 95 spot 50, that would be good too. All right. You have a lot of confluence area here. So this would be an area where I would absolutely look to short or buy yen pairs. We want that pullback in the yen pairs so we can get long. That's why right there. So we're looking for this to test up in this area somewhere and to roll over for a longer term trade. That could be a trade that could last for weeks and weeks and weeks if we reject this area. All right. This area is going to be the first area. However, I'm not going to look to get short on that area because that's just too easy. I would like to see it pull back a little further to stop all these people out who are short. All right. So that is it on the FX pairs. Oh, let me show you this real quick. The US dollar. See, this is just the US dollar. This isn't the DXY. This is 25. It's basically the same thing. It's weighted with the other majors, but only 25% of each. So it's not overweighted to the euro like the DXY is. And you can see here that you broke above this and then you closed right back below it. This is a bearish engulfing. So we are looking for lower prices in the dollar at first. All right. At first, I would look for this thing to find support, possibly at 11,729 or this area down here at 11714. All right. So you can watch this or the DXY, either one. It doesn't matter, because on the DXY, we're looking for the same thing. We're wanting to see what happens here. If we blast through it, retest it from the underneath side and fail, then the dollar's heading lower. If you test it, it's moving higher, and that's going to help you with your pairs to look at this week. All right, on to crypto. Let me answer these real quick, or look to see if there's any questions, rather. No worries, it's your channel. He's amazing. No nonsense, clean analysis. Thank you guys. It's fine, man. Wasn't distracting. Was just a little loud when you were talking over it. Do your thing. Got you. All right. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking good. I just throw this on here. This isn't nothing that I'm looking at yet. All right. This trend line is nice, but I like this trend line down here. Currently on the daily chart, we are making a lower test. All right. But I think I got that level from an 8-hour. I sure did. So this level down here is just that last swing high that we broke above. We came back in and retested it a little low, but we did retest it and we took off. So moving forward, I am looking for this area to hold as support. We did get that test yesterday, or not yesterday, earlier in the morning. So we're going to see what happens here. This is what I look for when I look for support tests. This is what I mean. If you get constant pushes down and rejections, all right, then look for it to move higher. This trend line is just from this low right here from January 27th to this one right here on January the 31st. So it is a little bit of a steep trend line, but I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, your all-time high is right here. All right. So everybody's talking about how $30,000 Bitcoin was expensive. Looks cheap to me because we're trading at $38,000. You know what I mean? $30,000 Bitcoin is cheap Bitcoin. And so did everybody else think. Now, here's what I want to talk about, because I discussed it a little bit in the C.T.M room. Let's get rid of this real quick. All right, you can see this trend line that comes from way back here. All right, and I just tacked it to this low when we made it. Then we traded back into it, but we could not close an 8-hour candle below it, right? Now, this spike is from Elon just putting it was inevitable in his Twitter page. But what I'm asking you is, does Bitcoin really need Elon? Was it already finding support? Was this move inevitable even without that post? Probably. This is why I don't look at news or care about news, because in my opinion, price action is going to play out the way price action is going to play out. Everybody was buying down here. The sellers got less aggressive. The buyers got more aggressive, and you got a nice big push up. This was a retest. It was retesting something. We don't know exactly what, because it came deep into this candle. You even tested the closing price of that bearish candle with a wick low, and then people bought that. Boom. All right. So now we're looking for the same thing to happen. We're looking for a test of support and for it to hold. Where will that area be? Well, the first area is going to be 37,896.74. This area right here. Next area will be this area down here. But eventually, I do look for Bitcoin to find support and move higher. And especially whether if the dollar comes out of the gate swinging with some bearishness, that will absolutely help all the crypto pairs paired against the dollar. All right, ETH had a nice push up, but you are currently taking out or attempting to take out this 8-hour market structure swing low. All right, you haven't taken it out yet because you got 56 minutes left on this candle until it closes. So the closure of this candle is going to be important. If it closes down here or lower, the next area, I think that's a 4-hour mark, 4-hour level. It's 1516.79. All right, that's your next area to look for a possible bounce. This area could be looked at as a possible bounce as well. And it's just this bearish candle, 4-hour candle. All right, it's simple as that. That's how I find these areas, and these areas hold. They generally give you direction. All right, as long as you're trading up here, you're bullish. This is not bearish. So I wouldn't have liked to see such a deep pullback. But then again, if your buyers are losing their steam up here, they're not necessarily wanting to buy it up here simply because this thing has been on an absolute tear. So a deeper correction is still bullish. All right. You can get all the way down to 1434 and it's still bullish. You're still bullish until you start taking out these swing lows down here. That's a long ways from current price. So until you start doing that, you have to look at this as a bullish move. So you got your swing up, look for your swing low, all right, for a higher low support. All this is really close to current price. So let's break out and see what we can find on a daily chart. We got to go in here, 8 hour. Let's use this area here. Let's see, 4 hour. I know there's one there. No, it's all the way down here. All right, so we'll use this area right here because it is this swing high. Look to see if price gets all the way down there. I don't know if it will, but it would be a great area to look for a support, test, and hold because you will have liquidated anybody that got long in this push up, all right, which is good. That's always good when you liquidate early longs because it gives reload buyers an opportunity to buy lower prices. That's the object. That's the game. You buy low and you sell high. So this buying up here is buying high. This was holding as support, but you broke below it. So now the current near-term price is heading lower. It's okay. It's all good. This is what we want. So we can buy this again. I'm only bullish on ETH. Going to be looking for that area there and that area down there. All right, let me put a line back on there. Those areas are, I like this swing low better, or the swing high better because it's most current, 1420 and 1516. I don't see it coming all the way back down here, to be honest with you. So let's see what happens. But you never know. You know what I mean? This could be the time when it goes back. We don't know, but we can trade it either way. Whichever direction it goes, we can now trade it. I opened up that Kraken account. We can trade it, baby, if it wants to go lower. It's fine with me. All right. ETH BTC. I was looking to short this yesterday morning, as a matter of fact, because we had this push up into this area just for a scalp trade is all. You can see that we got that, but I'm no longer looking to short it. You are coming into support right here at 409.173. So let's see what happens right here. All right. I do believe this could possibly be a range, or it wants to come lower and test this area down here. This is still strong. I mean, ETH is so strong, even though, I mean, this push down is just because Bitcoin was moving up. Now Bitcoin's going down. So all of this is, it could be dollar strength. We don't know what's going on in the market because we can't see all the other pairs that aren't 24-hour traders, which I still don't understand why that's like that anymore. We're in the 21st century. All markets should be open 24 hours a day, in my opinion. Stocks too, but they're not. So that area right there is 396.7593. All right, that would be a good area to look for support, test, and hold if you break out below this area here. I don't know if you're going to break out below that area. I mean, this isn't pretty. I don't like to see big, huge pushes down like that. You did take out this swing high right here. All right, you took out that target and then immediately sold off. So you have to put price into context. Basically, by this taking out this high, liquidating everybody that was short, all right, you took them out, you closed strong, and then you rejected slight hard. So basically what that infers is that all these buy orders up here that are from willing higher buyers, short sellers that got short against this high here, that makes them an automatic buyer at a higher price by default with their stop loss. So you have a whole lot of buying orders up here, buy orders just resting above. So if the game is to sell high or buy low and sell high, well, it looks like someone sold to those buy orders because you have a strong push out of that area. So this is how you got to look at the market. Look for areas of support to come into play because overall the structure is bullish. But if you just keep pushing down and making strong pushes down, then whoever's in control of this market is big money. And they, like I said, they sold to those buy orders up there. That's why there is no high probable trade once you take out areas of liquidity, because you don't know if the buyers are going to still remain aggressive or if banks or whoever funds are selling into those buy orders, because there is no sell orders up there except for limit orders. But limit orders can be moved. Basically, these orders can't be moved. I mean, they can technically, but you know just as well as I know, just as well as the banks know, there's a lot of buy orders resting above this high. All right. A lot of higher buyers in the market. So someone offloaded to those higher buyers, and that's why you got this push down. So we will currently look to see if the same people that sold up here wants to now buy down here or lower. All right. No one wants to buy up here. So this pullback is absolutely 100% okie dokie. All right, moving on. XLM against the dollar is making a push higher today. All right, which is bullish. Obviously, you made this swing high and you broke out of it. All right, so this thing right now has some strength, and it's kind of weird because nothing else is strong right now. So I don't know what's going to happen here. Maybe this is a push up in order to liquidate this over here, and then maybe you can get a push lower. If you're bullish on this, just hang tight. You know what I mean? Hopefully you bought down here and not up here, though. This is what I'm trying to teach you guys. Do not buy breakouts. All right. Real traders, pro traders, we buy pullbacks. I'm going to get it to Doge, and then I'll answer some questions. I think ETH is up on FUD that the new offering of ETH and CME futures will cause price to crash. I think we will have speculative dip today through Monday, but hopefully we'll recover midweek. Yep, that's going to happen. That, in my opinion, validates Ethereum as a valid thing. I mean, the only other cryptocurrency that has a CME future is Bitcoin. So that puts ETH right in the same boat as Bitcoin, in my opinion. If the Chicago Board of Options and Exchange is making something to trade ETH, that's good. That is absolutely positive for ETH overall, okay? Even though it might be being sold into today, overall, that's good news for Ethereum for the long run. For the investors of Ethereum, that's only good. CME futures, the more traders you have in an asset, the more liquidity you have, the better off you will be. All right, so there's really nothing to do on Stellar except wait for a pullback. The first area that I would look for a support hold is going to be this area right here, 35,670. All right, if you break below that, then you're just going to find lower areas of price structures. So the first one obviously would be this one right here, just that bearish candle, see what happens there, and on and on and on. So that's how you have to do it. But I don't really like this thing that much. It's just the way it's acting. It looks like it's about to have a pullback. Cardano is just, oh my gosh, man, this thing is off the hook. It's just off the hook. These guys, you had this bear trap right here, all right, and then you just see you later, alligator. You made a new market structure swing low there, and this thing is off the chain, man. It is just running. All right. There's nothing to do. Do not be buying it up here. All right. Do not be buying it up here. Wait for a support test. Let's go find one on a smaller time frame. Has to go lower. Yeah, you're not going to find one. I guess you could look for this area to here. I mean, this area right here right now is coming into play, obviously, but that's not far enough from current price. You have this big strong push up, and this push up wasn't as strong. So don't take the bait right here. Look for a deeper correction. I don't know if I'm going to find one in that push. Right here, you got one. Right there, you got one. So that's a good area to look right there at 1466. You can see how much liquidity is in this. This is a 15-minute chart, and it's all splotchy and glitchy. There's not much liquidity in it. So, look for this area to hold a support, 1466. That's going to be my first area to hold in the support. You could absolutely find support here at 1562. Absolutely. You could find it anywhere. But this is my first area to where I will become impressed and will maybe look to buy. I mean, because this thing is so bullish. So bullish. The sellers are getting smoked. Every time they step into this market, they get smoked. They step into this market, they get smoked. So that's the trend. Stick with the trend, man. Stick with the trend. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And unfortunately, we don't have no technical analysis that tells us when the end of the trend is there. You have to take out lower market structures. And by that time, you've lost out on a big move. That's the safe way to trade. DOT, USD on the 4-hour. Let's go to the 8-hour. All right. So currently you are trying to take out this market structure swing low here. All right. You did close above this one here, but you're trying to take out basically both of these, which is okay. All right. There's a swing high right here at 18.74. Let's see what happens when price gets down into that. If we start wicking below and closing above, wick below, close above, might be a good area to look to get long on .USD because it's been off the chain as well. A lot of these cryptos have been off the chain. This is not a dump by any stretch of the imagination. All right. That's not even really huge bullish candles either. So, I mean, it's not going crazy like Doge. Doge is just a very illiquid asset, and you got a lot of buyers stepping into it right now because of the hype. That's all it is. I do eventually expect that thing to pull back at some point. We will look at Doge, and then we will answer your questions. All right, you guys just stay put. Try to stay put for me, please. All right, .BTC. Now, .BTC is looking a little bit different, obviously. So my first area of support is right here at 48,408. All right, we're gonna see what happens there. We did get it. We didn't test it all the way. It looks like you just basically buyer stepped in front of that wick. All right, which happens in cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency trades very technical. I love it. Can't wait to get opened up on the Kraken account. So you have this high swing high up here. You did not test that. All right, you did not test that. That doesn't mean that it's weak. All right, it just means you didn't test it. That could be a false move right here with buyers coming into play. I do not want to see this thing close below this market structure down here. All right, if you get an 8-hour closure below 47,131, then you're going to have to wait because something else may be changing. Now, you did have a pullback on this this big bearish or bullish push. I mean, you got that pullback right here, but for whatever reason, buyers just are not getting aggressive at these areas. So literally, I mean, you could come all the way down to 37,135 and find support. That would be a good area to buy if buyers are still interested in this thing. You know what I mean? That'd be a beautiful bot because you haven't tested that, and you would liquidate everybody that bought up here. Everybody that bought up here would get smoked if price comes down here. Be a great spot to look for a support test and hold. All right, so let's put that on the chart because that's going to be on the watch list for sure. I will be looking to buy that if it shows me that buyers are stepping in front of this level. Algoland's been strong lately. All right, you have retested support. You found it, but it looks like you're going back down to retest it again. Or you could be just pulling back for an initial move higher. It's running. It has been running, and it's been nice and methodical, nice, beautiful, bullish price action. I love to see that. I have a trend line down here, but it looks almost like you could put a more steeper one on there if you wanted to, like so. Let's get it on that low there, right there. So let's see what happens when you come into that trend line, and you got an area right here you can look at. Just move this line down here. So basically, yeah, let's see what happens, man. Right there, 7,459. That's going to be the first area. The next area will be this swing low here. But then you would break that trend line, but not this one. So it's still bullish, guys. It's still bullish. It's not just rocketing to the moon like everybody wants it to do. This is how price action is supposed to work. It gives the firms that have a lot of money opportunities to buy because there's no firm on earth that's going to buy this up here. Not one. They wait for pullback entry long. That's what they look for. All right. So if a pullback's in the future for all these things, that's good. We can still look to get long. All right. I'm still not going to short any of them right up here yet, unless I'm just scalping. And when I scalp, I'm only looking for small ranges. So Comp USD has been off the hook too. Comp USD is currently in profit taking mode. Okay. I got that from a 4-hour time frame, I believe. Yep, there it is. Right there is going to be my first area to look for a support test and hold. 389.75. That would be a good area to look for bullish reaction. All right. We don't know what's going to happen. We can't tell the future, but we can absolutely put areas in the chart to watch. All right. And you do got some trend line confluence coming in there as well. So let's watch and see what happens when price gets down to there. All right. I would love to see some wicks and rejections. That way I can get long. Uni's pullback is a little bit steeper. Comps is a little bit steeper too, but you got to look how steep the run up was. And you're still not even midpoint of the run up. So this is still bullish. Uni looks a little bit different, however. Uni is like rolling over, and it's rolling over kind of steeply. You had a nice methodical bullish move up, but you're moving down quicker than you moved up, which is usually hard to take comp serious when Coinbase hands every user temporary comp. Right? Yeah, I understand. I do. It's hard to take a lot of these things serious, to be honest with you, because I mean, technically they're crypto coins. Some of them have a lot of use cases. Brandon knows the use cases for them. I'm a technical trader. I trade technicals. I'm not much of a fundy guy, so Brandon knows the fundamentals of these things. So that's where I get my knowledge from when I listen to him when he tells me what this is, what it's doing, all that. So that's what I'm looking at. But with Uni, it looks like it's trying to push lower. You are currently testing this area right here at 17.73. So I got another area down here at 15.63. So one of these two areas, I'm going to look for a support test and hold. All right. If you just slice through all these areas, then something else is going on, and I may look to sell into that. I'll take a look at everything you guys want me to look at. All right, Carl, have a good evening or good day. It's still morning in the US. Yeah, we'll see you later. I'll look at everything you want me to look at. Let me just get through these real quick. So on Uni, I'm looking for 15.63. And then, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for support test and hold of that area. I don't want to see it get below that area. I would love to see it hold right there. Balance is still looking nice. It's still looking okay. Seller stepped in front of this test right here, which is normal. It's normal price action. You got to push down corrective. Now you're looking for an impulse leg to the downside, but we will look to see where buyers step in. It's all about buying low. So 31.2246 is a good area to look for a support test right here. And you will smoke the liquidity underneath for everybody that bought on the move up. For everybody's favorite doggy coin. Like I said, doggy coin it's all over Twitter. It has become a meme. This is absolutely low liquidity buying. That's it. A lot of people stepped in this, bought it. You got a massive short squeeze. Everybody that was short has been stopped out. However, instead of dumping, like that's technically not a dump because of the size of the push up. You found support, all right, and you haven't came back to test that, which validates that as support. So basically, the only thing you can do if you're looking to trade this is get you a trend line. You know what I mean? Take it from that low there and take it from that low there. As long as you're trading above that trend line, technically it's bullish, right? This is starting to shape up like some kind of cup and handle or whatever formation or chart pattern. I mean, you broke out of this wedge, you made a wedge and you since broken out. This thing is absolutely bullish. The buyers are way more aggressive. Gene Simmons put 5 figures. Wait, whoa, Gene, hold up. 5 figures. My goodness, man. With Gene Simmons, 5 figures is like $5 to normal folks. You know what I'm saying? He's not extremely bullish on Doge. If Gene Simmons was extremely bullish on Doge, I'm sure he could fork up $1 million or $2 million, you think? That would show me he was more bullish, but it's a meme. It's a meme is what it is. FOMO, this is FOMO. People are buying it. Elon's talking about it. Gene Simmons talking about it. There's a shit ton of people talking about it on crypto Twitter. It's a meme, but price action is moving up. So if you bought low and you're making money, bravo. That's what it's about. All right. Who cares if it's a meme? Who cares if it's a crap coin? Who cares? Follow price. Do what price is telling you to do. Right now, price is bullish. So wait for price to find support. First area that I'm going to look for a support test. We've already tested it twice, but that's okay. All right. I'm not going to buy it up here. There's no way in crap. It can keep moving higher and higher if it wants. I buy support areas. I don't buy breakouts. Breakouts is a terrible thing to buy, but if you want to buy Doge, let Doge pull back. Doge is right now. It's trying to test these highs that it made back here, and it looks like it is going to. All right, it's very bullish. This is very bullish price action. You took out daily market structure levels. All right, this one, then this one. That's bullish. Very definition of bullish. When you're taking out higher, you're making higher highs and higher lows. That's bullish. This thing is very bullish on a daily chart. All right. Nothing to do up here, unfortunately. So let it pull back into this bearish candle here at 53. All right. See what happens when that happens. If you're getting hourly candles or 4-hour candles that are unable to close below that area, might be an opportunity to look. Maybe. All right. The next one down is this one right here. Let me get this off because that was just a daily structure. But your 4-hour structure right there is 4689, 362. Last bearish candle. I don't like this one. You have tested it already here, but this isn't like I don't know, man. It's not super strong. More liquidity will be in the market tomorrow. This is Sunday. There is big moves in crypto on Sundays and Saturdays, but the real liquidity will be in this thing tomorrow. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we hold support at a lower area. We can look to buy. Doge BTC is it's not quite as good as the dollar on a daily chart against the dollar, I'm saying. Well, actually it is. So yeah, I stand corrected. You took out this market structure, but not as strong as you did on the daily with against the dollar pairing. But with this Bitcoin pairing, you took it out, you tested it, you found a higher low support, so they bought it. So finding higher low support now is you're just gonna have to wait. You can't buy it up here. See what happens if price comes back down to that area right there. All right, it's a good spot to look. 143, it's going to be a good area to look for support, test, and hold. You could come and test all the way down to here, guys, and this thing is still shaped to the bullish side at 104. So that would be a better spot to buy it. If Doge is going to go to the moon, then I would like to get in down there. That would be a good spot for me to get in. So that's pretty much it. 88 USD is the last one. Someone asked in the Conquering the Markets chat room, the Discord. I keep forgetting we've left Telegram. But anyways, they were like, what's some targets on 88 USD? When something is as bullish as this, the only tool that you can use is the fib extension. All right. The fib extension, not the fib retracement. It's the fib extension. That's not it. Damn it. It's up here, right there. That's the fib extension, the trend-based fib extension tool. And the way you use it is you just find a swing low on a price run. So this is a price leg up because you had all this consolidation. So this was your breakout of that consolidation. These two bullish candles right here, that was your breakout. So the last low before the breakout would be this low here. Go from that low to that high right there on January the 17th. And you have these levels here. They go for days. So, I mean, that's how you will find targets for all-time highs. That's the only tool that I would use. You can see right here at the one spot, 168, looks like sellers are stepping in, but we'll have to wait and see. You can also see right here how beautifully it works because this was support or resistance when we pushed up into it. You had a rejection. That's just a regular standard 618 fib extension. You've seen that hold as rejection, and then boom, explosion to the upside. So this thing is super, mega, ultra bullish. All right. There's nothing to do. Nothing to do. I mean, if you want to buy here, go ahead. I wouldn't. There's no way I'd buy that. But what I will buy is a test of this area down here. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that right in the mic. If I get a test all the way down to here, I would look at that as an area to look for support, test, and hold. Absolutely. And that level is 44625. I realize this is a daily chart. Would probably take almost a week to get down there unless the bears are in control. If the bears are in control, it could get down there today. All right. So here we go. I'm going to check out the comments section and see if I can answer some questions for you guys. Let me scroll up. Just bear with me. See, this is when the music would come in right here when I'm not talking. People selling the news. All right, I read all that. Brooklyn Moto, what is up, everybody? Philip Berger, For Love Club. What is all the chatter about Doge? Yeah, it's just everybody is chatting about Doge. For Love Club, everybody. Gene Simmons, everybody. Elon Musk, everybody. Link and LRC and Ren. Yes, sir. And that is for Mr. Henry Chang. Yeah, let me get that for you. Link first. I think I have Link over here in another chart. Right here. All right. Link against the dollar is looking constructive. I mean, you did take out this market structure swing high right here. That level is 24.83. All right. You closed the daily above it here, and here you were above it, obviously, but you took it out. Now you're currently testing this trend line. This trend line I got from January 11th, and I just tacked it to this low on this bullish candle here at January the 22nd. You are currently testing that, and I believe what is an 8-hour market structure area, and you are. But you can see on the 8-hour, you are firmly below that trend line. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens at this area of support, 23.45. 935. Now you have a level down here that's never been tested. All right, so that would be a good area to look for support test at 22.36.301 right here. Excuse me. Let me grab a drink real quick. I like that area better than this area because you had tested it so many times and you're currently testing it with current price. Now there is an area of obvious resistance or support you can see there, but however, see what happens. You know what I mean? If you close this out 8-hour candle, which you're going to in 30 minutes above this, and you're struggling with 4-hour or 1-hour candles to get below it, this may be the area to buy it. So let me get rid of that trend line because this could just be a bear trap. You know what I mean? Closing an 8-hour candle below a trend line that's being watched and respected, and then immediately shooting out of that area. That's a traditional bear trap. That's a beautiful buy entry as well. So just watch these two areas. All right. What was your other one? Link, Ren. I don't know. USD. Let's see. Let's use Binance. I'm pretty sure Binance has the most amount of history on this thing. It's pretty wiki, but it's looking strong. All right, let me get you some levels real quick. All right, so you took out this area and you've already closed an 8-hour candle back below it, being that one right there. So moving forward, this is absolutely going to be an area that I'm going to be watching for a test of support. It is bullish. It's structured to the bullish side. Obviously, I mean, you could get all the way down to here on Ren and you're still bullish. All right. So, I mean, I know people like to sell these things up here because it looks sexy, but we try to teach newer traders not to do that. Yes, it does look sexy if you nail the top. It also looks sexy when you nail the bottom. So wait to see if you can nail the bottom right here. Look for this area to hold a support. That area is 6885. All right, just simply this area here. You may hold support right here because you do have this market structure right here, this swing low. All right, that is currently holding price. So, but these two areas are so close together, I would just simply leave that one on there for a lower wick to catch that wick. But you may be in an area right now, man. You're in an area right now. See what happens. I like this area on Ren. And I didn't remember what your other one was. So give me a second to find that comment again. I should have left it on the screen. All right, it's down here. I know that for sure. Where did you go, Henry? LRC. Got you. All right, LRC. Coinbase, Binance, Finex, Binance. Let's use Binance. All right, get off the mic, Heath. All right, here we go. It's strong too, man. It's super strong, obviously. Super strong. This is your swing high before you broke out above it. Look for that area to come into play as support. All right. You may be finding support here. There may be something there on a lower time frame chart that you're finding it is. There is. You got an hourly 1 hour candle right here. That is why you are finding support here. Let's go right there. All right. You can see a beautiful, perfect test of that right there with that one. You have traded a bit below it. You are currently trading above it. There's 26 minutes left on this hourly candle. That price is 60421. All right. This price right here, this level, that's what's being tested currently. You have another one right below it right there. This was a 4-hour, 8-hour structure. So it coincides nicely with that next 1-hour one down there at 5710. All right. If you lose this area, looks good. I mean, it looks good. You're not, bearishness would be like just boom, breaking through, retesting areas. You're starting to swing out of there. You see what I mean? Sellers are backing off when they get down in this area, which is a perfect scenario for bullish entries. All right. Also good insight, not many. Take a look into it though. Heath, what's the chatter about Doge? Already read that. What's selling the news for ETH? I'm just looking at comments, guys. Bear with me. Reading. ADA USD, please. Yeah, I take a look at it again for you, Smile. So this is I can't remember which data feed this is, but they generally spot arbitrage market makers have gotten pretty good at getting these things pretty close on all the exchanges as far as the spot price. So ADA is pushed down. You've taken out all of this. This is a 1 hour chart. Let's get off that. So it's ultimately it's super bullish, dude. Right here is the first area that I want to see test and held as support, and that's 54.65. All right, so going into a smaller time frame, 4 hour chart. This looks like a nasty bearish candle on a 4 hour chart, but it's okay. I don't get afraid of candles like that. This, if it's going to find support, it's going to find support. If it's not, then it's not. All right, we can't inflict our will upon the market. We have to let the market show us what it's doing. Look for your first area to watch at 54.65. The next area is down here at 44.2650. All right. Crypto is dead. Easy compared to Forex. No stupid Wyckoff waves manipulating people. Clean and trending with high price targets. I don't get into Wyckoff and all that stuff. Elliott wave. I don't do any of that. I believe the candles hold everything you need to know to be a profitable trader. It's all I use, and I'm profitable. Can you look at DeFi USD perp? All right, I will try to pull that up. I do not know the ticker, as I couldn't trade these things until not that. Probably this. Is that against Tether? DeFi USD. Is that the ticker? DeFi USD perp? Yep, sure was. Oh no. No, it wasn't. The only one I see is Tether. You got to give me a ticker on that. ENAT, DeFi USD perp. DT perp. So it's going to be against Tether. This one I'd have to assume this is what you're talking about. Yeah, this is what you're talking about. All right. Gotcha. There's DeFi looking bullish. DeFi is super bullish. Brandon's been talking about DeFi coins like crazy, so they're bullish. All right, this is a daily chart. So your first area for support test and hold is going to be 1633.90. That's if it gets back down there even. All right, so let's look at 8 hours, see if we got any 8 hour. We don't really. The only 8 hour we have is right above this line. It's hovering above it. So, I mean, it's possible that this line comes into play. It is a daily level. So daily levels, I put more weight on. You got one right here on a 4 hour. All right, you're currently testing it. Currently testing it right now as we speak, almost. So let's see what happens right here. That first level is 1816 spot 50. All right, 1816 spot 50. So you have made a low, you traded up, and before you could even test that candle, boom, sellers got re-engaged in this. You took out this market structure swing low. So far, you haven't closed the candle, but we will in 28 minutes, 22 minutes, sorry. So if you close below that, then obviously the bears are in control. But like I said, look at markets with a bit of context. The only people that's buying this stuff up here is retail. That's it. Nobody's buying this. No banks are buying these prices. No swap. I mean, no prop firms are buying that. Nobody that's investing for people's 401k. Nobody's buying up here. All right. That's why you get steep sell-offs. This is a profit-taking area. So you have profit taking coming into play. Look for a higher low support to come into play. That's when you look to re-enter these positions. This could have technically been looked at a higher low support because you notice you did test, and then you shot out of there, but that was just a bull trap. Boom. That's when you know you're wrong. All right. So to take a trade on that would have been a good, I mean, that's what I look for, is price action like that. So you don't never know if you're going to be right or not. Always put your stop below the lowest low. That way, if you're wrong on the trade, you get stopped out. No harm, no foul. If you're only risking 1% or a 0.5% on individual trades, you will be okay in the long run. If you're trying to 10x this like a Doge and 50x and 100x so you can quit your job tomorrow, you're going to get effing destroyed. All right. You cannot trade like that. It's gambling. I mean, the Wall Street better guys, that's how they trade. But out of all of those 7 million people, that trade like that, I would say there may be one or two that have found some success that do it full time. They're not, I mean, come on, you can't be wagering like that. If you take trades, that would have been a good area to look. That would have been a good area. You were right on this swing high right here. So that was a good area, but it just failed. So moving forward, looking for 1816, spot 50 to hold as support. If you do not hold that area as support, you're probably heading lower. I like this swing high here. You got this bearish candle there, but it was already tested perfectly, I might add, but that's okay. It can be tested again, and that's where support could kick in. That level 1686. 1686. Rounding bottom on algo land. Rounding bottom. So I guess you're talking about this right here, possibly. It's still, I mean, it's still bullish. People are buying it, obviously, but I would wait for lower area. That's just me. I mean, that's just me. This is so high next to the high. I mean, this high right here is what sellers are shorting off of. Obviously, this thing has just been destroying short sellers left and right, which possibly means that it's going to do it again. Basically, you could throw another trend line on that. I mean, it's a steep one, but it's holding. Boom. So see what happens. This is a big 4-hour candle, so I am expecting this to test lower. All right. Probably this area here. That would be my first area. This is a 4-hour market structure. I put more weight on the 8-hour ones, not the 4-hour ones. But the 4-hour ones I use to basically give me areas if I can't find any on an 8-hour chart. So each candle matters. I can show you where Bitcoin turned around on a dime on a 5-minute candle if you want me to. I mean, that's why I trade like this, because it works. Price finds support at those areas. That's what it's looking for. It's an algorithm. It's just like everything else. This price structure, the way it's delivered, is an algorithm. This is not, you don't just have buyers and sellers moving price. This is an algorithm collecting orders, and then more aggressive orders to one side or the other will cause the algorithm to move higher. That's how price is delivered. So that's why these candles will hold. That's why you'll find areas of support at them as well. So let's just see what happens on algo. Does look like it possibly may be finding support. This right here, you took out that high and this high, and you were since trading lower, and that was a pretty aggressive push lower. There's your hourly chart. So it's not super aggressive, but for the last 6 or 8 hours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, the bears have been in control. But that's all right. I mean, this is accumulation or consolidation, whatever you want to look at it. It only becomes distribution once price gets down here, because we're not fortune tellers. We don't know. We have to take calculated trades. This is how you become a profitable trader. You take calculated trades, look for areas like that. It is currently holding as support right now. All right. And you're getting a nice bounce off of it, but that's for the near term. That's just for the near term. If you want to trade it back up to here and then look to exit the trade, that's okay too. I do it. That's how I scalp Forex, man. That's exactly what I look for when I'm scalping Forex. Stuff like that. I don't know if I'd take this trade because you did bounce out of there. I would have looked for lower high support and you didn't get it yet. So you've already taken out the low of this mark. Well, you haven't taken out the low of it yet. There's the low of it. So yeah, but you're right there next to it. Right there next to it already again. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. I would look for a lower area to come into play. Lower area to come into play. Hard to take comp seriously. Yep, I already read that. Comp had $11 million hack. I didn't hear about that, Philip. That's I did not hear about that. Have to bounce. Thanks, Heath. That's Carl. Link USD already did that. LRC. Comp. Systematics Network, please. Is that a stock? Let me see. I need a ticker for that. All right, Harry D. If you can give me the ticker for Systematics Networks, please. I don't see it. Do not see it. We looked at Keep. No. Coco. Not looked at Keep. Let's go look at. Cancel. Watch what I'm doing. Let's see. Keep USD on Kraken. This thing is very illiquid. Very illiquid. Those are hourly candles and it looks jittery, jaggery. All right. So on Keep, basically, all right, so you did pull up out of this area. You had a nasty, nasty spike because it's very illiquid. You'll get these spikes on very illiquid assets all the time, all the time. That's a BART if I've ever seen one. Basically, you're trading sideways in this area. So you're range bound, and this is your last market structure swing low. So you have to use that one. And now you did make a higher swing high on a daily. All right, that is productive. So look for this area right here at 29516 to come in as support. All right, if you get to trade down into that area, let's go look at an 8 hour, see if we got one in there. We do not. Technically, you could use this one. It's a little bit higher. So you could use that instead of the daily. And that puts you right close to the daily market structure level. So look at this area right here at 29. See if you hold this area as support. If you hold this area as support, then you may be heading higher. I do like the price action. I do like the fact that it came down here and it made a nice long consolidation before moving out of the area. You came back and you retested the market structure swing high, which is healthy, and you have since pushed off higher. Now you're getting into an area where more and more sellers will start to build up their positions up here, looking at this as a pump and dump asset, trying to short any pop in price. But it looks constructive. I'll give you that much. So look what happens around 29,443. If you get all the way back down to 26,162, then this thing's probably heading lower. I don't know. I wouldn't like it so much as a bullish play if it happens that way on Keep. Just joining the chat live from UK. What is up, Jonathan Terry? Glad you could make it. Hey, Mayor, how are you doing? Damn, that thing just bounced. What happened? Where was I? SNX. All right. Thank you, sir. SNX. Sinmax Corporation. That's an 8 hour chart. It doesn't look like many people are trading this. You see what intraday price action looks. Oh yeah, it's disgusting. But that's okay. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. These are actually good stocks to buy and hold more than trade. So I hope you're not trading this because it doesn't have any liquidity. Like it would be tough for someone like me to get filled without slippage. Because if I wanted to go in there, I'd go in there with a couple thousand shares and I'd probably get slipped all over the place. So I wouldn't day trade this asset unless a lot of volume popped into it. But overall, the bullish trend is constructive, bro. It is very constructive. I believe this is the March sell-off. It was. And since you have done exactly what the S&P 500 has, you have come out of there. Let's see if you've made all-time highs. You are at all-time highs. Very constructive price. I like it. You had a test lower, so you may have missed the boat if you didn't enter down here on this push down, all right, which was simply a test of, let me get rid of this real quick. Let me stretch a chart out. I keep forgetting about you guys on mobile. So you tested this area down here, all right? Right there. That was your area. Boom. Closed above so beautifully, all right? That was your last bullish candle before you traded out of that area. And on the retest, you got your retest flawlessly. And obviously, people are buying it. So it looks like you may have missed the boat on this, all right? If I wanted to buy it, if you wanted to buy it for accumulation, meaning buying a little bit here and there, then that's okay. All right, then that's okay. Then you can look for a test back down to 85.21 possibly. We go to, I think that hourly chart's going to be so splotchy. It's going to be hard because there's not much liquidity in this. All right, so first area, look for this. This one's going to be your first area, 86 spot 61. All right, and then just right below. So anywhere in the 85, let's call it the $84 to the $86 range. Anywhere in there would possibly be a good area to add a few shares. All right, if you're bullish on this overall. I am very bullish on this overall. It's moving higher. All right, that's good. That's what you want out of long-term market holds if you're looking to buy and hold it, obviously. Would you exchange 30K ADA for Bitcoin now or when? All right, Anton from Australia. I must have to say this is not financial advice. All right, I am not licensed to give you that info. But what I would do is, would I exchange $30,000 for Bitcoin right now? $30,000 is a pretty nice chunk of change for any person. All right, so you got ADAs making all-time high, or not all, it's awful bullish. I mean, you're in it good. You got 30K. Bitcoin is moving higher, currently testing support. I think Bitcoin's going to go much higher. I have a measured move hitting around $56,000 on Bitcoin. I don't know, the measured moves very seldom ever work out, but I'm looking for at least $56,000 prices on Bitcoin. The thing about emptying 36,000 from ADA into Bitcoin is you're either going to get mad if ADA keeps going higher and Bitcoin goes lower. You're going to be upset thinking, why didn't I hold on to my ADA? And if you put it into Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes down, you're really going to get mad. So that's a question you have to answer for yourself, my man. All right. You have to answer that for yourself. You have to realize that by taking your money out of ADA, it could continue to push higher. That's just that's part of risking capital. So I don't know. I don't know if I would do it right this second. Absolutely not. I mean, not with Bitcoin making this daily candle. This is constructive, absolutely, but ADA is way more bullish. The ADA versus the dollar, I should say, is way more bullish. And it looks like it's being bought up again. So I think I would hold off on that. I definitely would put some in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the future, in my opinion. Bitcoin is the way. This is the way. Love my algo. Algo's busting it, man. Algo's killing it. Anton, I consider converting some Bitcoin. Blah, blah, blah. Just some friendly advice. Can you check out Aave versus USD? Absolutely. Absolutely. I got you. Brooklyn. USD. I'm assuming you want Kraken. Yeah, this is another one that's killing it. I mean, this is good. It's constructive price action. These are daily candles, and you haven't just puked all these gains out. This is nice, slow consolidation. There's no 8-hour structures to take. There's a 4-hour one, but it's all the way down there. Let me see. I mean, that's your last. Yeah, you can even do that. Boom. Heck, come on, man. You can even do that. So you can see that wick high right there, tested it. Crypto trades like that sometimes. Absolutely. That'd be a good area. 38.40, 34, 348 spot 77. See if you get down that low. I don't know if you will, but if you do, that'd be a good area to look for a support test and hold. All right. You're extremely bullish. There isn't much price action on it. So, I mean, it's just bullish. It's bullish, bullish, bullish. There's probably areas on hourly charts you can watch. Oh, this nonsense here, but you have come down. Let's see what you're testing. You tested this last swing low. Basically, what I would do on Aave, if you're looking for a bullish entry, see if you get a bullish candle that pops out of this area and takes out this market structure right here. All right. What you want to see is you want to see a market structure smoked on a bullish candle. So you get a bullish push out of that area. Look to buy retests. All right. At that point, you could check out buying on this candle here. And that's only if you get a follow-up bullish candle. So now I'm looking into the future with my wizardry. But that's what I would look for. All right. Look to see if you get a bullish close up in this area, taking out this market structure swing high. Then you know that, yes, this area is being used as support, or buyers are stepping in front of that area. Then you can look for this candle to come into play at 443 as support, only if you get that big bullish push. If you continue to migrate with hourly candles below this market structure swing high here, then I would absolutely wait for lower prices. All right. Because if you can't get an hourly closure above that market structure swing high, you see how it, all right, for instance, just look up here. You can see how you had a nice big bullish push. Then you came back and you retested areas, but you just didn't have it in you to close an hourly candle back above that swing high. So basically on this bullish candle, once you got an hourly candle, even closure below that, that was an indication that you weren't going to go up and make higher highs. All right. And then every subsequent hourly candle after was just lower, lower, lower. lower, and then you took out this swing low. Now you were consolidating until this moved down. So this could just be a stop run. Absolutely could be. This could be being accumulated right now for all we know. To be safe, let a bullish candle pop out of this area, because that still doesn't mean you're going to make any money on the trade. It just allows you to play a more safer entry than just flat out buying right here, right now. All right. That's how I would play Ave. In fact, I may be looking at this as soon as I get off the live stream. All right. CVC and Atom. CVC and Atom. I'm assuming this thing. I don't know. I mean, you got to give me an exact ticker symbol. When I type in CVC, it gives me a whole lot of things. I've never traded this before in my life. Ever. So this is Coinbase, I guess. Okay, this looks good. I mean, you had no volume whatsoever, trading sideways forever, and then boom, explosion out of that area. You came back down, you consolidated, boom. So that seems to be the pattern. So what I would look for is wait for this to come into play at 17.0375. All right. You come down back into this market structure, because that was basically the pattern that was being followed almost. See what happens down in here. Like I said, you don't ever buy highs. You wait for pullbacks to buy for long entries. Higher low support. You could draw a trend line from this low here, connect it to there if you want. That would be another confluence. So let's see what happens when it comes down into here. Your first area, obviously, is this candle right here. I don't have a term for it other than your first bearish candle, which is an absolute area. Some people call it supply. Some people call them demand. Some people call them order blocks. But whatever you want to call it, I don't care. That's what it is. That's how it works. That's how the markets work. So see what happens there. All right. You start to hold support there on a lower time frame, like an 8-hour or 4-hour. Might be a good spot to entry. This is your last 8-hour closure before this huge spike up. So look how it coincides nicely with the daily. That's your area right there, 18.3067. That would be my first area to look for support test and hold. And Atom. Atom is moving up. It's moving on up to the east side. Singing that Jefferson's theme song is going to date me, I think. And everybody's going to know how old I am. All right, 95337, 9.55337. That was that last swing high. All right, you closed this daily candle above it was the first, or 8-hour candle above it. Apologies. That was the first time you were able to do that. All right, so there is no structure levels within this price. There is going to be right here at this area, or you could use that bearish candle there because it is the last bearish candle before price took off. I would not buy it up here. I can't stress that enough to you guys, because a lot of you newer traders are like, is this a buy? Is this a buy? No, this is not a buy. If anything, it's a sell. I'm not talking about shorting it. I mean, if I bought it down here, I might be looking to unload some of my position up there. All right. So, I mean, even though it is strong, you did consolidate up here on a 4-hour basis. So that area is going to come into play before that area down there. All right, this area is 11.48. That's going to come into play way before this area ever does, because you did consolidate there. You did get a nice strong bounce out of there. You have retested the upside of that area, so you may be heading higher already. I mean, yeah, that's about the best I can do for you on Atom USD. You have tested that level perfectly. All right, let's go see what it looks like on an hourly time frame. Yeah, you're doing basically the same thing the other one was. Looks like bulls are stepping in front of this. All right. So basically, you would want to see at least a higher closing candle, a bullish candle closing higher than at least this last bearish candle. All right. Before I would even think about entering this. Because this, I mean, yeah, I would have, it's bullish. You know what I mean? I can't really, if you're looking to enter this now, yeah, it might work out. I would set my stop right below this hourly candle market structure. All right. Right there. I'd have my stop below this bullish candle. All right. That would put you at pretty terrible risk to reward, in my opinion. Let's get a bullish thing over here. Maybe. Trading views acting all stupid. Long position, please. Where's it at? There it is. All right, go back to an 8-hour. Oh my God, people are ragging me on. Let me see here what people was talking about. Give me a second. I just got to make sure no one's like saying, hey, Heath, we can't see you. All right, they're not saying that. So let's see here. Let me get this. This trading view is like just crazy. I don't know. It's probably my internet. There's nothing to do. Get rid of this magnet tool. That might help. No, it's not doing anything. All right. So let's try to move it up. If you use that hourly candle there, you would be entering it up here though. So it's not, your risk to reward would be this. All right. Risk to reward all the way down there. So your reward would have to be up here just for a 2-to-1, which can happen. I mean, it's absolutely bullish. It is absolutely bullish. That's a choice that I must leave to you, my friend. The Heath Brandon collab is an absolute gem for new crypto bugs like myself. Yeah, Brandon knows his stuff, man. Brandon knows his stuff. Absolutely. Where do you see the 56K for Bitcoin? When do you see the 56K for Bitcoin? With all price action, man, I don't know that it's going to happen. First and foremost, all right? There's no guarantee that it's going to happen. Basically, all I did to get that price target was this was a breakout area from 19,000. Once you broke out of that, I just took a measured move from this push up. This push up. That's all I did. That's how I got that measured move. And basically, you just take that measured move from the consolidation and boom, you get that target. It could happen. I mean, if you look how strong Bitcoin was when it moved up, it could take a couple of weeks to get up there if it's going up there. I don't know that it's going up there. That's just, like I said, measured moves don't always play out. They don't always play out. It's just, I like to follow current price more than anything because I'm making my decisions on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out measured moves and then target that as an area to exit. That's possibly what you could do if you think that's going to come into play. But that's a long ways from current price. You're trading at 37. It's $20,000 away. I mean, talking in these kind of numbers is crazy. I mean, $20,000 away from current price, and that doesn't seem like very far. You know what I mean? It's literally right there. It's not far at all, and it can absolutely do it. You consolidated in this pullback, and you are moving bullish, moving higher. So it's currently testing support now, meaning it's looking for buyers to step in. So will they? We don't know. We do not know. We can only hope that they do if you're bullish on Bitcoin. If you're a short seller and you're looking to sell this, then I don't know. There's no way I would be looking to short this right now. I would have looked to have been shorting it over here. If I was a short seller on Bitcoin, if I was looking for Bitcoin to continue to roll over, in order for me to do that, it would have had to break down from this point. Since you broke out of there with 2 strong daily closes, that basically told all the shorts that this is not going to be a lower high, looking for an impulse leg to the downside. In fact, you have went higher. I mean, that is monstrous. Basically, it was like I said earlier, nobody needs Elon Musk. This move is coming from this right here. All right. They were buying that up. You got this move. Then right here is when Elon Musk put that on. You had a big spike. That move has already been corrected. All right. All we did was we corrected that move. You can see that wick comes right down to the very bottom of this swing low. You touch that and sayonara. The bulls are in firm control of this market. Firm control. All right. So we're going to wait and see if this holds support right here. That's the daily level, and the 8-hour level I had was right there at 380, 379.19, spot 67. This level right here. It's just a floor stepper. This right here is just that swing high. That's all that is. That swing high. And price is already traded through that. So I'm not necessarily looking for that to hold or do anything. I don't know if anybody's even going to be looking at that. You got this big bullish bear, or this big bearish candle here, this engulfing candle. So that's what we're testing right now. All right. Don't want to see it get below here. Do not want to see it get below here. 36,648. 36648 spot 62, because that's your last swing low. You've already taken out the high of that. So this should hold. Hopefully this holds. It's bullish. It looks bullish. So if it's going to continue bullish, right here is an area to look for it to continue higher. But we don't know what's going on. Like I said, with the dollar, this could be a dollar move. This could be something happening with the dollar. This push down. I mean, it's just a retest is all it is, but we don't know what's going on. I haven't been looking at the news. Adam is Cosmos, says For Love Club. CVC is Civic. SNX USD finally got it. Heath, appreciate it. No problem, Harry. No problem. Anything else? Anybody? Before I forget, somebody hit me up by email, so that makes me assume that he is not part of the C.T.M community. So he wanted me to look at some stocks, guys. I hope you guys don't mind this. I'm doing it for him because I told him I would. We're going to start with SRAK, SRAK, Stable Road Acquisition. It's a SPAC. SRAK the SPAC. So I already got you some levels here. You're coming into this area. You tested that and you failed to get above it. That's your last market structure swing high. That level is 26.26. All right, my next level of support, if we aren't able to, Friday you did close above this already, so you have already tested it. All right, what you can do is just put it on that daily bearish candle. Let me get my magnet tool back. Everything's going glitchy, so I'm probably about to drop off. It is raining cats and dogs outside. So all right, for our first area of support test and hold is going to be 23.80. As long as you're trading above that, you're fine. If you start taking out those prices, then you have to be looking at that as a lower high. All right. So yeah, you definitely want to see this area hold a support. SSPK. I already have this stuff going on and I don't know why. Let's see. All right. So this was just simply a swing low that is being tested currently. All right. That was just going to be your first area of support. It looks like I've already analyzed this thing before. So that right there was an area that I would have said to look for buying opportunities. I mean, yeah, you got it. So that would be the same area that I would wait to see if it, if it holds there again. You could get smaller time frame areas all the way into an hourly. You would have to go. So basically, this doesn't have much liquidity. Look for this area to hold first. 22.13. All right. That'll be your first area to look for support, test, and hold. If you're not in it already, maybe get in it right there. All right, let's go to NPA. NPA. What is going on? What do I got going on here? I don't even know. You get rid of this stuff. All right, so there's an obvious trend line. There was nothing in this, and then you got acquired by a SPAC company. So you did take out this high, but you closed below it. You closed below the market structure. I realize that I am on a 4-hour. So even on an 8-hour, boom, you close below it. So now this is your new structure that you have to close above. Look for support test. Look for a support test and hold at 1550 first. I would much rather like it this level down here, but then that takes out that complete bearish move. So look at this one first. This will be your first area to look for support test 1550, and then obviously this down here at 1503. As long as you're closing 8-hour candles above those two lines, you may be able to push higher and finally take out that market structure swing high that you put in last January, or not last January, but January. Now this thing right here is, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? What is even going on with this? This is an 8-hour time frame. There is no liquidity in this. None. So you've pushed out. This was your March scare. That looks familiar. Definitely looks familiar. It looks like a euro. That's why. If I just open my eyes. there's not much liquidity in this. This thing's going to track euro. So just watch euro USD. I already put the targets on euro USD. If you're watching this replay, you will see that is those are the areas. There's no way I'm going to try to derive areas from this thing because this thing tracks the euro. So this thing's going to do whatever the euro does, if that makes any sense. So spot price euro against the dollar, for instance, would be what you want to get your levels from when trading this. I understand this is a stock and you're probably buying calls or puts depending on direction of trade you're heading. Ultimately, it is bullish and you're still bullish. The euro still, longer term, it is still structured to the bullish side. We are at a very, very key area. All right, I'll say that. This is SLV. I have calls in this. Like I said earlier, I have calls for the $30 strike, but they're out a month. And I am only risking 1% of my portfolio on that trade. So it is okay if I lose all those calls. So I already did the silver analysis, and that's what you would want to look for on that as well. This is copper. Copper is bullish. It looks like you found a lower high support down here at this area right here. Let's pull this over and see why. That was your reason right there. You essentially just found that. Now this is Copex, so this is also a miners ETF, so it's going to track copper. So what I'll do is I'll go throw copper in for you and just do it the right way. All right, wait, that doesn't look anything like that. Give me a second. Get rid of these. Yeah. I mean, it kind of does, but not really. All right, so screw copper. We'll use CopX. I'll get you some levels on this chart because copper doesn't look all like and completely like that. So, all right, this was your first area. This is where it found support. You have since moved higher. So what I would be looking for is I would look for this area right here, $30.73 to come in as support. If you come back down into this area and you hold this area as $30.73, you could look to get long, looking for a higher high to come into play. All right, there isn't enough price action within this push up to tell if it's indeed going to be sold into for a lower high. I mean, this would be possibly a lower high looking for an impulse leg to the downside. All right, let me see if I can draw that out for you. Basically what I'm looking at. So I always look at both sides of the market, guys, always, because I'm a scalper and a swing trader. But as of right now, what it looks like, you are bullish overall, all right? And you are forming some kind of bullish pennant pattern, bull flag, whatever you want. So with this trend line right here, this is going to be a good spot to look. If you get a breakout of that and you close a daily candle above this trend line, look for a retest and look to get long. All right, that's all I can say on that. If you fail to close a daily above that on that trend line right there, then this is possibly going to be your first impulse, corrective, impulse, corrective, impulse, move. All right. We don't know if that's what's happening, like I said, but that's how you have to trade. That's how you have to trade it. That's the only way to trade it. If you break out above that trend line, in my opinion, that would be very, very bullish, especially if you close a daily above it. And then finally, GLD is just going to track gold. It's going to do the same thing that gold is doing. In my opinion, gold does not look very good right now. All right, so we're looking to see if this 171 spot 13 area holds as resistance. If you get that, might be a good spot to look for a further lower push. And I would be targeting this wick low at 166.03 as my first target to take profits on. All right, I am ultimately bullish on gold. Ultimately, I'm bullish on gold, but the price action, the way it's trading, it looks like the bears are in control, and it looks like that is their target. So that's hopefully I think his name was Brian. Hopefully that works for you, Brian. And Dash, can you please do analysis on Dash? Absolutely. DoorDash. Oh, can you be specific, Shumba? Are you talking about DoorDash, the stock, or are you talking about the crypto? If you could just type that in the comments or in the chat for me, that would be great. Do you want DoorDash or do you want the stock or the crypto? SPACs. Most SPACs have some crazy cycles around the merger. Yeah. I still like SLJ. Hey, I took a C.T.M long on CAD Yen on February 4th. Can you please look at possible upside for profit targets? Yeah, I'm long in CAD Yen too. I am long CAD Yen as well. Brian said thanks. So that might be the guy that emailed me. I hope that works out for you, man. Sorry, I'm rushing through it because we're getting a little long in the tooth on the stream. All right, so the red line indicates my entry, or the blue line indicates my entry long on this. Let me go into a smaller time frame so you can see what's going on. Basically, I've been looking for this to break out for weeks. All right, ever since price has been pinging back and forth in this range, I was looking for it to take out those targets, all these targets here. Boom, boom, boom. That's what I was looking for to happen. We got that. I'm still long this. I took this as a swing trade. I got long right here on this wick lower. All right, the blue line indicates my long. The red line is my stop. I've already moved my stop above because I did take profits on this wick. I took off some. I'm treating this as a swing trade, so I'm still in this position with a pretty good amount of size. My first target where I'm going to be taking more profits off if we push up into 82 spot 834. I simply got that level from an hourly time or a weekly time frame, and it's basically this bullish candle here. All right, that's what I'm looking for. That's the next area to look for resistance. I don't know if it'll roll over there or what, but that's another area where I'm going to take off some profits. And after that happens, I'm just leaving this just like that. So if it wants to continue to trade higher for the rest of the year, I'm okay with that. I'm positioned well, but that's what I'm looking for. All right, I'm looking for that. You said you got positioned February the 4th. So it looks like you got in on the same day. No, you got in over here. All right. So let me go into a smaller time frame chart. So you got in around here. All right. So if you took this as a C.T.M entry, I can probably guess. Let me see if this tool will work. I have no clue what's going on with TradingView right now. No, there it is. There it is. So let me see. I got to get rid of the magnet tool in order to do this with this tool. So I'm going to assume that your low is underneath that wick. And if you took a C.T.M entry, that means you probably got long right in here. All right, so you're almost at a 2-to-1 right there. That level is going to be 82,693. All right, so you're in great shape. You're in great shape. A 2-to-1 trade is always a good trade, man. Always a good trade. You're in great shape. So what you want to see, obviously, is you want to see a push up into that area. At that point, you could probably take off some profits and move your stop to break even. However, since you're in right there, let me get rid of this. Since you're in right there, there is a pretty good chance that price comes back down to test that area. All right. And the reason being is because you see all these wicks, wick. So they were trying to break out, but they were having trouble, but they did break out. Right. So I'm looking for that to come back into play eventually. So this as a retest, in my opinion, as long as you're not closing 8-hour candles below 82 spot 151, be another spot to look for another entry. I mean, I'm bullish on this. And the reason is because I think this is the problem right here. All right. CAD yen is probably going to experience a pullback because I believe the Japanese yen is going to pull back as well. It is bearish. This is the Japanese yen currency index. So I'm looking for this to pull back, but I'm looking for it to find resistance at 95 spot 20 or 95 spot 50. One of these two areas, or even possibly higher. This would be a great area because that's the trend line that it broke out below. I'm going to get rid of that now. And you have this new channel that looks like it's trying to form. So does that looks like a good spot to look for this to roll over and come back lower. All right. That's my plan anyways. My plans don't always work, but as long as that works out, if that works out, then you will have something like this on the CAD yen, a pullback. As long as the CAD remains strong, you have a pullback into one of these areas to find support and then a stronger higher push out of that area. Either way, That's what I'm looking for to happen on the CAD yen. Mr. Tom, hey man, could you please look at Beyond Stock? Absolutely, Tom. Tom's my man. Tom's my boy. Tom is always on every single video, commenting, liking. Just, you're a great person, Tom. Let me get it here for you. BYND. All right, BYND. Let's get a daily chart so I can see. It looks like I was doing some kind of Quasimodo technical analysis on this a long time ago. So you're trading range bound in a very large range. You haven't made an all-time high. Your all-time high is all the way up here, but you're on the upper side of the bullishness. You can say that at the very least. All right, that's your all-time high. Let's get over here to relevant price now. So you had a big, strong gap up. I'm going to assume that was earnings. I don't know. I'm not going to even try to pull up the earnings calendar right now, but a big, strong gap up and you sold off. You look like you have tried to close the gap, which is constructive as all get out, my man. So look for this area to hold a support. All right. Beyond me is, it's been trading sideways. I guess you could call this box sideways. So you came up here and then you sold off. This is back in November. I don't know what happened there for it to sell off, but something happened here because you had a bear trap. If you look at that candle there and you put something there like this, that closing price, you can see you got a closure below it and immediately rejection out of there. So that's your bear trap, bullish move, impulse leg up, corrective, boom. So this is nice. This looks nasty, but 164 spot 25, as long as you're not closing at least hourly candles below that, that's where I would be looking for this thing to head higher. All right. Yep. It didn't really do much the last few trading days since this big, which is to be expected, because look at that massive move. So this was basically just, it filled the gap and you're moving higher. Nice and easy, like just like that. Something like that. That's what I'd be looking for. Now, if you're looking to buy it and hold it for, 5 or 10 years because you think it's going to be trading higher, then everything I just said is useless. You don't need technical analysis if you're an investor. All right. You just have to figure out what looks like an attractive price to you if you're an investor. Like if you're buying shares for the long term, here'd be a good spot to add some shares. If I was investing in Beyond Meat, if I thought it was going much higher, I would absolutely be adding to my shares tomorrow as soon as the market opened. I would absolutely do that. Beyond is very, very, yeah. This thing it trades good though. I like trading Beyond Meat because it usually trades good. That was an insane spike. I'm gonna check that after I get off the stream, see if that was what the heck caused that. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. We've been on over an hour and I apologize about that. But like I said, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's pretty much a holiday here in the United States of America. So nobody's going to be looking at YouTubes during the Super Bowl probably. So I just wanted to get the analysis in for you guys for the technical and for the crypto and the Forex Weekly Outlook. Yeah, so there you have it. We will talk to you guys. All right, Ryan Duma, what would you look for to confirm a level if you look at ETHUSD? It's right on that 4-hour level. ETHUSD, what would I look at to confirm a level? Okay, so on an hourly chart, you can see how the sellers really took over right here. All right, so buyers were still in control here, and then you had this pullback, and the bulls that bought here, you can see the reason this price action is so much stronger is because there were so many stops under this area. You came down, you triggered those stops, you retested, and you're moving higher or lower, and you're moving lower with some haste. So what I would suggest you do is wait. All right, because this looks like there is a news item out that's causing this selling. All right, it looks like there's something out that's causing people to be fearful, and they are exiting their positions, and short sellers are jumping on. They smell blood. So they're jumping on it right because I want to see it push down to this area down here. You can see you tested that level right there beautifully on an hourly. It's an hourly market structure right there, that bearish candle. You pull it out so you can see this bearish candle right here. You tested that flawlessly. All right. So look for the next lower one. Look for this one down here. Let's see what happens when price gets down there. And that level is 1433.81. I don't know if it's going to coincide with what I said earlier on a bigger time frame, but if you're watching this price like on a shorter time frame like this, which I'm assuming you are because you said that we're testing that level again, I'm looking for this level to fail. All right. Simply put, this looks like vigorous selling. This, you did stop everybody out. So that's going to add to the selling pressure, as well as whatever news items out, causing people to exit this thing quickly. Now, this, just the move like this could cause people to be shook out of their positions, but I don't know. I'm as soon as I get out the stream, I'm going to check out what's going on with ETH. All right. Hopefully you're in there. So CME futures start tomorrow for ETH. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know that could be it. It looks like something else is going on here. Looks like something else is going on. This move was at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it looks like the selling started at 5 o'clock yesterday. So it's an Asian session thing. Possibly. That's what it is. I could see them triggering the sell algos on Saturday evening at 5 o'clock for the Asian session to get this thing going, but it's only going to offer up an opportunity. So the lower it goes, the better it is for Ethereum bulls. All right. Look for this area down here, 1433.81. That's going to let us know if we're going to find support here or if something else is going on. And a lot of people blame when the CME futures happened on Bitcoin, we got a lot of selling in Bitcoin too. And people, they like to blame the CME futures for that as well. And it's possible, but you know what I mean? It's only good for ETH. This is good for ETH in the long term. I know a lot of crypto enthusiasts don't think so, but trust me, more liquidity in an asset is always good for that asset. Always good. If 1420 doesn't hold, just trying to see the downside risk. That's impossible to know. I mean, the downside risk can be, let's go to a daily. Let's do it that way because that's the best way. All right. So let's say this, because this was an ascending wedge. All right. Which is usually met with bearish intentions. All right. And it played out to the bullish side. So, all right. So essentially you broke out of there, but you are back in that area. So the trend line is done. But the low end, the risk, you could come all the way down to here, 1382.00. That is your last bearish day. All right. It's your last bearish daily candle before you traded up. So you can trade all the way down to here. If you start taking out these market structures, this one and this one, then you're going to test this all the way down here at 897. So that's your downside risk right there. This wick right here, that's your risk. That is your risk. That's a long ways from current price. I'm just saying, if you start losing daily levels that should hold as support, because just use your head for a minute. If bulls are in control of the asset, then that looks like a very attractive area to get long again, right? Because you held that as consolidation. That was the all-time high, and you broke out. So a retest of the all-time high is absolutely healthy, absolutely healthy. So let's just wait and see. Let's not freak out yet and start looking for downside risk. But your downside risk is this wick low, man. Like I said, if you start closing daily candles, you start knocking out market structures to the low side, and you're making lower highs and lower lows, this is going to be your risk. It could go all the way down to there. Absolutely. Absolutely, it could. I mean, this thing has been on an absolute monstrous run, dude. And you had nice pullbacks in it, though. But once you got up out of here, it's just been so much liquidity, so much craziness. People just, man. So, yeah, it's just losing some steam. It's not a blow off top yet. The way I judge blow off tops would be this right here. This is how you know if something's changed. You have 3 weeks worth of price action. All right. Let's just use this last bearish candle. So from this wick low down here at 1202 all the way to this high, if you get a weekly candle that takes out 2 weeks worth of price action, Boom, like that. That's a blow off top. One weekly candle destroys 2 weeks worth of bullish movements. You're looking at something different happening. And at that point in time, that's when he starts to look for higher prices to offload some of my positions. But yeah, that's where it is. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. You guys have a wonderful day. We will see you in the chat room. And for the rest of you, well, I'll see you for the next trade recap. All right. You guys have a great night. Happy trading.